Welcome to New Clothes for a Doll. How to take the measurements for doll clothes. Here's a Barbie Francie doll example for you. That's my little Francie, and I'm going to show you today how to take the measurements you need for real clothing, for making real clothes, like the ones you have seen in the last weeks on my channel. So, how to take the measurements. I think it's the easiest method to use a string, no matter what string you have at home. I have a natural one here, and I use this to measure around her body parts, like this. And when you have found the tightest place where the two ends meet, you can see it. That's second. That's where you cut. And then you have a measurement. That's my pair of scissors for embroidery. And then you have your string, and you can measure this piece of string, and then you have your correct measurements. Because I think these dots are very small, and there is the problem that you can't use a regular ruler for tailors to do so. So, what kind of measurements do we need? I only show you the basic ones here. So, it is, for example, useful to know the length of her arm. Let me do this. Maybe you can do this better here. So, we have to, I know it's not so easy to do, but I try to do my best with my two hands to show you how to do this. So you start here on the very beginning of her arm, and then you try to fix with your fingers in the string a little bit so that it does not go anywhere you don't want it to go. Sometimes it's helpful when she holds it herself a little bit. And then you simply cut. So that's for a full length sleeve. So that's the length of her arm. Then we can measure her waist. Once here and once here. So that's how you get this measurement. It is useful when you do long sleeves, believe me. The measurement itself looks like this, not very long. And what's also useful is measuring around her neck. Not too high, not too deep, so just that both ends meet here, and then we cut. The string is dissolving, not good. So, it was a bit too long, but this string starts to dissolve itself. So, we cut it there. Wait, too long. So, now we have her neck measurement. What else do we need? We need some more measurements. We have already heard. Then we need the length from her neck to the shoulder, which is here, and again cut, measure and write down. Then we have her bust, of course, because you take the widest spot you can find on her and go once round, cut, and there you have her bust measurements. Then we of course need some measurement on her back. So the widest part on her back is from here to here. And we also take this and cut. Then we need her breast point, and we start here on her shoulder, go over her breast, and right. She's moving, she is moving. Let's point until, let's call the I don't know, I have to look it up at the moment. I think that's the measurement I used for my breast point 1, but I have to look it up what's called in English. Front chest maybe, I'm not sure. But that's the length from here to here, above her breasts. So what else do we need? We could do this here, from above the breast. So goes onto there, and here we have our measurement. Of course, her on the widest part of her hip. That's also useful, because her hip is a little bit wider than Barbie's. So, widest part of it, and then cut, and then when you want to do have trousers, you need this measurement of her foreleg. Of course, here we have it. We could also do the leg itself. We have it here until the ankle. Hold it tightly. So that's the length of her leg. We could also do her ankle here to know what is the tightest pair of trousers she could wear. So again, here we cut. What I have just forgotten is the length of her back. That we need to. So that's the length of her back. Et voila. We're done now with all our measurements, and we are going to write them down in a list. So here's the chart of what I just measured. I made a chart of it, and wrote down my measurements, and that's how I'm able to use them for my pattern making. So, I hope you like the idea of doing new clothes for a doll. My list of measurements for Barbie Francie doll, so that you can do it in the future yourself too. This is just a little instruction how to take the measurements for a doll clothes. It's basically the same for every doll, not just Francie doll like here. But I hope you like my little video. Stay tuned in for the next crazy sewing videos.